Welcome back to JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports, Stare Down Greatness. We are yet on another stepping stone as we head ever so closer back to the NFL season, which is 191 days away from now, so we got a long while. But today is the transition tag and franchise tag deadline. We had the combine that was just this past weekend. I think the next big one is the NFL draft probably, which is April 23rd. But like I said, weather's starting to warm up a little bit, which means we are at that time where it's almost draft season. Franchise tag deadline is today. March Madness is in a couple weeks. It's almost golfing season for a lot of the Midwestern states and everything. I know the Southern states get to do it all year round, but it's about to be that spring-summer time, which means that the NFL will slowly be dwindling down news and everything, but we don't got to worry about that today. There's a lot of stuff that's been popping off. A couple trades have been happening. A couple guys have been released, so we'll we'll recap some of the news that's happened over the last week since I was on. And before we do that, we'll start a little bit right now with some combine talk. There's a couple names I just want to bring up that stood out to me from stuff that I heard throughout the weekend and kind of saw. Taylor Green, he kind of set a lot of records. He seemed like he's going to be an interesting prospect. The quarterback market obviously is not going to be the best this year when it comes to drafting wise. I mean, you got Fernando Mendoza's going to go 1. Garrett Nussmeier, Ty Simpson, who are 2-3, and then kind of seems like, from what I understand, it's going to take a little bit of a steep decline, and then you look at the rest of the quarterbacks are kind of like unproven and everything, but might have some potential. Jeremiah Love ran a 4.3 with 6, which is just insane. Going to be interesting to see if he ends up making it to the Chiefs. So we'll talk about it a little bit more in the news, but there's some teams potentially looking at drafting him a little bit earlier, which it'd be interesting to see because you saw what happened with the Raiders last year. I mean, Aston Jitsi is a really good running back, but they're more than a running back away from being great, so you got to wonder what's going to happen there. Carnell Tate ran a 4.5, which is a big thing everyone's kind of freaking out about, and it seems like this happens every year with a really good receiver where he doesn't run the fastest 40 time, but I think this was Emeka Ibuka last year, and you saw how he started his rookie. Obviously Ibuka hit the rookie wall though in his second half of the season, but you saw how he started out and he was perfectly just fine. So I assume Carnell Tate's probably going to be fine, but he seems like he's one of the top receivers in a pretty decent receiver draft. What else? There was Sonny Styles had a really good day as well. There's so much I'm missing. I won't lie to you. I had decently well written notes and thought I saved it. Then I come back, did not save it, and of course, the one time I didn't write it in the Google Docs. Usually I always use Google Docs or actually write it down when I'm doing stuff. This is the one time I didn't. I had it on something to the side and don't know what I did with it, so it really, really sucks. But yeah, so those are just some of the names I wanted to bring up. Like I said, there's so many that I'm missing. We'll probably bring up a couple more tomorrow if I end up finding those notes. But D'Angelo Pons, he had some athletic freakiness to him as well. It was just a good day overall for some of the guys who did it. But as you can, there were some interesting thoughts. First off, only 10 running backs running in the draft. Kind of makes you go, why? I mean, obviously we know. And then it ended up coming out that, this was the fastest draft ever for so many positions. And then you look back, it's like, well, it seems like a lot of the slower guys who knew they weren't going to run the fastest decided not to run, while some of these guys who knew they were going to be fast ran pretty well. I think David Bailey had a 4.5. Might be fast. I think he did 4.5. There were some big guys that were moving. And yeah, it should be a fun and interesting NFL draft. It's going to be a weird one because next year's going to be the big heavy quarterback one. So this is going to be one where it's after Fernando Mendoza goes, and obviously Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Reuben Bain, some of these guys are going to go as well. It really could open up to positional need and who goes here, who goes where, who makes it out of the top 10. Caleb Downs, we'll talk about this in the news as well, but it seems like he's fine. There's an injury thing with his knee. I'll just get it out of the way right now. There's apparently speculation that came out that he might have something degenerative in his knee or something wrong with his MCL, and it's that time of year where we got to remember some of this NFL news that is coming out that I am talking about. We got to remember some of it we got to take with a grain of salt because some of these guys are lying for clicks, got wrong information, got invalid information, or are trying to lead people off a scent, and especially when it comes to these draft guys, they're gonna come out and say so many things about some of these dudes, literally just to try to get them to drop a couple more spots because these teams really want to draft them. So we just got to keep an eye on that as we head on into the news. Let's talk about some of the releases, though. Titans released Lloyd Cushenberry. They also released safety Xavier Woods. Cushenberry had 2 seasons left on a 4-year, $50 million contract that he signed after spending 4 years in Denver. Obviously, this seems like that's a cap-clearing move as well. Xavier Woods, Xavier Woods. I don't know. Oh, I did get it right. I don't know. I thought I said his name wrong. No, we got that right. Yeah, he was also released as well from the Titans. Yet again, probably another cap move they're trying to make. One of the wilder trades, this happened 5 days ago, but Jermaine Johnson was traded to the Tennessee Titans from the Jets, and the Jets received T'Vondre Sweat. He's going to reunite with head coach Robert Saleh in Tennessee, who drafted him in 2022. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, this is a guy that they wanted to get in there, T'Vondre Sweat. He's second round pick in 2024, so just one of those things where they want to get their guy in the building and new regime. So it's going to be some of the casualties with the new regime and everything. Some guys are going to get released. Some guys are going to get moved on from. That's also probably another reason why the Titans moved on from the center and Xavier Woods, because they want to bring some of their guys in. The Colts have allowed Anthony Richardson to seek a trade, which not too shocking, just disappointing. I would assume that, especially when it sounds like the Colts are trying to get a deal done with Daniel Jones, which I guess we'll know officially in 2 hours if he gets franchise tagged, they sign him to a deal, and then Alec Pierce gets franchise tagged, or if he gets signed to a deal. But pretty much Alec Pierce for sure isn't leaving the building, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Daniel Jones. But transition tag could even be in play as well as they try to figure out a deal. But hopefully they can figure it out, because it sounds like they're pretty much done with Anthony Richardson. They're going to look for a trade. And if you've noticed on the Colts social media, they're running a lot of Riley Leonard videos as well. So it's kind of like they're already starting the PR campaign a little bit. But it's just disappointing for Anthony Richardson, man. I mean, that was a guy I was super excited for. He had all the talent in the world. He just... Inconsistency, obviously, and the biggest thing was just injury that really derailed him. I mean, he would have had a chance to play last year, and if he played well, he probably could have earned himself and kept his job, but he had a freak injury happen to him. I mean, I'm not blaming him for that freak injury. It's just it's one of those things where it's like I said, I'm not blaming him at all, but you just go like, of course that happens. Like it just seemed like it just hasn't worked out, but maybe at a different place you'll be able to figure out potentially, but it's just disappointing, man. He got injured a lot. Like I said, so much potential, just didn't fully work out. And maybe it'll work out a different team. It just sucks because Colts are still in purgatory hell. There's a lot of hope and potential that Anthony Richardson was going to be the guy that could finally break the Colts out of it, but no. So the NFLPA survey, the Dolphins were the league's top, and the Steelers ended up being the league's bottom. I wish I had the full list. I thought this article had the full list when I was going to bring it up, but oh yeah. So this was the thing I was talking about. This is the last year that the report cards are going to basically be made. They aren't going to be released anymore, which really, really sucks because you would really like to know. The Steelers and Cardinals, by the way, were at 30 and 31st. So Steelers, Cardinals, and Browns are the worst facilities and stuff like that. It's really nice to know this stuff, especially like as a fan, because you wonder like, man, why is the team not playing well potentially? Why is this going on? And you look, it's like, well, first off, they don't want to be around the building because the building stinks, it seems like. So second off, that probably leads them to not practicing as much, doing this as much, and it helps you understand a bit. And at the same time, too, it also puts a little bit of public pressure on these owners and these guys with money to be like, hey, make these facilities a little bit nicer, man. These guys work here, live here, I mean. And the only, like, these guys aren't going to pay for it themselves, so it's like either the owner does it or nothing happens. And like I said, I'm just disappointed that's not going to come out anymore. Because it's also, like I said, it's nice to know who the poopy franchises are. It's nice to know what franchises are good. And it's nice to know, like, all right, for example, like the Colts, like, all right, the Colts are good at this, Colts are good at this, that could be better. It's like, yeah, I agree with that. That makes sense. So, like I said, just disappointing they're getting rid of that. But seems like Dolphins are the best, Steelers are the worst, according to the average of the report cards. And yeah, David Bailey for Texas Tech, 4.540. Sonny Styles, 4.4640. George Pickens is going to end up getting franchise tags, which means they're probably going to try to do a deal with Brandon Aubrey. It sounds like that $10 million thing, by the way. Yet again, when we talked about like the stuff that sounds like a little bit of fugazi, sounds like that was somebody in his camp basically saying like, hey, he would like $10 million, but he's not really asking for it. Obviously, they're going to try to play Brandon Aubrey, though, because they want to keep him around. So it only makes sense that they're going to franchise tag George Pickens. Maybe try to pay him next year. But that's going to be interesting because then you're paying a kicker, quarterback, and 2 wide receivers a decent amount of money. So that's the Cowboys for you, I guess, right? No, but you got to think about it. If they do that with George Pickens and everything, like it's... The Cowboys could really use a rookie contract to kind of build out their team. I guess that's a nicer way of putting it because, yeah, they definitely have some holes they need to fill. The NFL salary cap is apparently set at $301.2 million. So it was increased by $22 million. And, yeah, well, I was wanting to see what was it in... Let me open this tweet again, sorry. I want to see what it was in after COVID, just to, like... So since the COVID... After the pre-COVID bump, it dropped to 182 and then went back up to 208 million. So since 2022, it's gone from 208 million to 301 million dollars. That's just, you want to talk about some money, man. That is a lot of money. And then Lorenzo Styles, who's the brother of Sonny Styles, he notched a 4.27 40. That boy is flying. Yeah, like I said, Kenyon Sadiq was a 4.39. This is absolutely insane. The Falcons dismissed assistant coach LaTroy Lewis amid sexual assault case. This was just kind of wild because they basically like just brought him in recently, and then like this year, and then all of a sudden it's let him go. So the dismissal came shortly after the Falcons said they were looking at allegations that surfaced on social media. And yeah, then he eventually got released. I'll admit I haven't seen that much more from it, but. Yeah, just kind of absolutely wild because he was another Michigan staffer, which just goes to the kind of wildness that's just the fallout of everything that was wild from the Michigan program. The New England Patriots have explored trading for Philadelphia Eagles A.J. Brown, but they believe the asking price is too high, which makes sense to bring back A.J. Brown to Vrabel. But, yeah, it seems like he might be staying in Philly then, and they might be able to figure that out, potentially, but... It was just getting really, really loud with A.J. Brown. He was doing some wild stuff on that sideline. Because as funny as it was, realistically think about it, like, why is he reading a book on the sideline? I mean, that's not the greatest of look for him and everything, but it's... I'm not going to talk. He's making millions of dollars playing in the NFL, and I'm talking about it. So, I mean, it's just like I said, just a wild situation. Just wild in general. And, I mean, it just felt like the locker room was really weird last year. I don't know what was going on. There was just some funk going on with the Eagles last year. The Vikings are releasing Aaron Jones and Javon Hargrave, instead barring a trade. So, they're releasing Aaron Jones and Javon Hargrave because once team here, they're basically just going to release him. Then they'll probably just let him do that and pick him up in free agency. Apparently, the Jones release will save him $7.75 million. Hargrave will free up $10 million. Other candidates who the Vikings could cut are Ryan Kelly and defensive lineman Jonathan Allen. Absolutely insane. They just got Ryan Kelly, and they're already thinking about getting rid of him. He does make a lot of money, though. I think that's kind of why the Colts were okay with just letting him walk, and then they like the guy who's behind him. Overall, though, apparently, like the Aaron Jones move was like apparently he's a big locker room leader guy, so letting him go might cause some issues when it comes to that. So that just goes to show you like how in cap hell the Vikings kind of are right now, which also goes sucks they didn't figure out the for them they didn't figure out the QB situation because they have the rookie quarterback money, which is nice to build out everywhere else, but the rookie quarterback play is not too good. We talked about the Alec Pierce who remain in Indy on the tag or a long-term deal. I don't think I've heard anything yet. We'll just double check real quick to see if anything's been said while we've been live. Yeah, so far it doesn't seem like... this came from Adam Schefter. The Colts and Deion Jones have been in discussions for a long-term deal, and both sides would like to get a deal done. There's a disagreement on value, and they'll see where that goes. So you would think they're probably going to figure that out, which means good chance that Alec Pierce is probably going to be the one on the tag if they end up doing that. Well, let's see, though. I kind of hope they keep Daniel Jones as a fan, personally. It's just a tough situation. Like, I want Anthony Richardson to, like, be... I wanted Anthony Richardson to work out. It just seems like that's too far gone at this point. Obviously, Daniel Jones working out is the best-case scenario, but it just sucks because now he's coming off a torn Achilles and a fractured ankle, so it's like... He has a lot of healing and rehab to do. Who knows if he's even going to be ready for week 1. So that's going to be Riley Leonard and potentially some veteran quarterback, I assume. But then do they try to rush Daniel Jones back so he can play? Because we know, especially off that Achilles surgery, second year he might be okay. I mean, it seems like these guys in their second year, like Kirk Cousins looked a lot better than he did in the first year. But that first year back, it really seems like they need to get ready. So it's just tough, man. Tough situation for the Colts when it comes to the quarterback yet again. Apparently the Cardinals are interested in signing free agent Jimmy Garoppolo, which they're definitely in the quarterback or in the market for a quarterback, but whoosh, man, that's an interesting choice there. The Chiefs are releasing Jawan Taylor to help save them some money on the cap, which I think a lot of Chiefs fans are pretty happy about, just because of the whole flag situation for jumping too early, all that stuff. Yeah, I think I forget what show I was listening to this morning, but they made a couple jokes about it. I think that there's a lot of people who are, no offense to Jawan Taylor, obviously, but I think there's a lot of people who are like kind of fed up with the shit he was doing. They're like, all right. There's even somebody who was listening to felt like they could have called it a lot more, but they didn't. And yeah, overall, I don't want to. He just got released. I don't want to kick a man while he's down, but he's probably going to sign somewhere. If we're being honest, tackles in the league are very hard to come by, and he is a decent player still, so he's probably going to end up somewhere. It's just not going to be the Chiefs. The Browns are requiring Titus Howard from the Texans, and they're giving him a 3-year, $63 million deal. It makes sense because 3-time Pro Bowler Wyatt Teller already stated he won't be back. Left tackle Cam Robinson, left guard Joel Benito, center Ethan Poshik, and right guard Teller. We already talked about that. And then right tackle Jack Conklin are all scheduled to hit free agency. So the fact that they already traded for a tackle, gave him a new deal, pretty much sounds like they're. I don't know if they're going to let all these guys go, but it sounds like they're pretty much okay with all these guys going. They spent their times as Browns, and it seems like they're basically rehashing the whole offense, which is an interesting choice because the biggest thing is quarterback. I wonder what they're going to do with the quarterback. Still not for sure if they're going to keep Shedeur or not, but, keep Shedeur starting, or if he's going to be the starter next year, or it ain't going to be Deshaun Watson because they paid him a lot of money and the owner might want to see him out there. I don't know what that situation could be, but it'd be really helpful if they could figure out that quarterback situation. Commanders are releasing Marshawn Lattimore. That move saves them $18.5 million in cap space. After 9 games, he tore his ACL, which ended his season. He apparently hasn't played more than 10 games since 2021, which is also insane. You think he's probably going to get signed somewhere, but you got to think, I don't know where it could be. It's probably going to be one of those signings where we see him on I'm just going to literally throw out a team. You could end up seeing him, say there's an injury to the Panthers in, week 8, 9. All of a sudden, you see Marshawn Lattimore out there for them, and it pops up the little graphic and shows, Marshawn, he's on the Panthers now? It feels like it's going to be one of those situations where all of a sudden you go, he's on the Giants now? It's going to be one of those situations, it feels like. The Vikings are open to trading Jonathan Grenard. Apparently they want to keep him, but exploring trade options amid salary cap issues. That just goes to show you how bad it truly is. They want to keep him and say, hey, we really need to get out of this money. So if you guys want to go ahead, it is crazy to think how the Vikings were just at 14-3 2 years ago, and now how we're talking about them now versus, Sam Darnold's a Super Bowl champ. They let him out of the building. It is just, I feel a little bit more bad for Titans or Vikings fans if I wasn't a Colts fan. Sheesh. But yeah, it's been really tough for them the last 2 years. This was an insane move. The Lions traded David Montgomery to the Texans. Houston will send a 4th round and a 7th round pick plus offensive lineman Juice Scruggs to the Lions. This was just an interesting, really, really interesting move. It's kind of felt like a little bit out of the blue, a little bit. And then Jahmyr Gibbs posted a really sad photo on Instagram. It was the Sonic and Knuckles crying and parting ways. Just an interesting move. I was kind of shocked that they ended up doing it. Not shocked on the Texans case because it sounds like Joe Mixon might be done with the team. So that makes sense from their part. So that basically tells you a little bit too. So basically what that told me when they made this move, my immediate thought was okay, so there's rumors about Joe Mixon being gone. Sounds like he's for sure gone at this point. And then you look at Woody Marks. It's like, all right, so Woody Marks is good, but they obviously want a two-back. They want two backs there because Woody Marks did go off the field a lot injured. So, yeah, then from the Lions side, that's the part where I'm just kind of like, whoa. I'm just shocked they ended up doing it. Khalil Mack intends to play in 2026. He's going to be a free agent. It sounds like the Chargers really want him to return. I wouldn't be shocked. They signed him to a 1-year, $18 million deal last year. Maybe they'll probably sign him to around a similar deal this year. It's interesting to think about the Chargers. If they don't spend any money in free agency, they already upgrade because they get both their starting tackles backs who are studs. And they're the one, was it Rashawn Slater? Hopefully he can come back. I wonder if there's been any. I'm going to look real quick to see if there's been any news about him. But that's the one where I'm pretty sure he had the knee injury where it's like they come back like you don't come back the same after you get that injury because it's like a really, really bad one. But yeah, it seems like as of right now, nothing too big. Or like nothing massive is coming out, but makes sense. It's only March. However, the Chargers should be really upgraded next year, so it makes sense they want to bring Khalil Mack back. I'm curious to see if he wants to go back or if he wants to go to like another tier above contender. The Falcons are headed to Madrid. They're going to play the second ever NFL game there. The opponent will be confirmed probably I think around May when they release the schedule. I think it's May or June when they release the schedule, right? Around that time. So that will be about when we hear from that. The Jets are placing the franchise tag on Breece Hall. They just can't let this dude go. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it was very clear at the end of the year that he wanted to go, and they really were just kind of okay with being like, all right, like they were just not interested in really keep. It seemed like they weren't interested in him, and then all of a sudden they come out and do this, and then they're asking for 2 first-round picks. Wait, hold on. Sorry. So apparently, I misread that. I thought that was what the trade offer was. It's a non-exclusive tag, which seems intended to serve as a placeholder for a long-term deal. It's a 1-year tender for $14.29 million. Hall can negotiate with other teams and sign an offer sheet. However, the Jets have the right of first refusal and receive 2 first-round picks as compensation if they don't match the offer, which nobody seems like. I don't think anybody would do. No offense to Breece Hall, he's a good running back, but I don't think anybody's going to give up 2 firsts. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like he's going to be a Jet again next year, which I don't know why they don't just trade him and get the value, man. Like, it sounds like the Chiefs were really close to making a deal last year, but the Jets were kind of being a little bit hardball-y with it, which is like, I mean, maybe they don't want to give him to the Chiefs, which I could definitely understand, but it's like, at least get something for him, because here soon they're going to get nothing for him, it seems like, and he's just going to end up leaving. I do feel kind of bad for him. It's like, man, that dude just can't end up getting away. The Bengals are not not franchise tagging star pass rusher Trey Henderson. So he's now just officially a free agent, which, yet again, another team that's like, why'd you not trade him and get something for him? Because now they dealt with that whole issue, did everything with it, and now they just basically are saying, all right, you can go now, and now they're getting absolutely nothing for him, when they at least could have traded him, maybe get like a first rounder or something. I mean, this is another team. I feel bad for Bengals fans, man. I mean, could have got something for him, and they just let him go. I mean, instead of just trading him or doing. Like I said, if you know, and it seems like they knew for a while, like it's just going to be done. Like, why do you not try to get something for him? That blows my mind with some of these teams. Like, why don't you try to get something for him? The Seahawks are not expected to tag Kenneth Walker. If Walker doesn't return to the Seahawks, he'd become the 4th Super Bowl MVP to begin the following season with the new team, joining Larry Brown, Desmond Howard, and Dexter Jackson. You got to think if he doesn't come back, it's solely a money thing. It seems like they're going to offer him a decent deal, but there's teams I heard the Giants might be potentially interested in offering him a decent amount of money, but you got to think he returns home, especially with how well he went, and the Seahawks really need a running back because of the injuries they've had to Charbonnet and everything. So that's it for the franchise tag news, at least. I'll check Adam Schefter's Twitter real quick, and then we'll probably end up calling it. So in the middle of doing that, maybe I shouldn't do that just yet. I might have seen. Oh no, more Breece Hall news. In franchise tag, he'll become a pure. So yeah, and Kenneth Walker's a pure unrestricted free agent. So it's pretty much the choice is up to him. Going to be interesting to see how much the Seahawks end up offering him. I think that might be doing it. So, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for support. I really do appreciate it. I will be back in this feed tomorrow. We'll talk some more about some of the franchise tag guys and probably do something a little gimmicky. Talk something the NFL wise, but just prepping for next season. Just look ahead. Maybe something. Either that or maybe we'll look back at the season that was. Like do something that's like maybe a trend. Like what happened to this quarterback when this happened or something like that, and see if we can project it forward. Be like, all right, who's going to be this year's Daniel Jones? Kind of stuff like that. Maybe if there's a trend we noticed last couple of years, be like, hey, can that translate over and be something? That's what tomorrow's going to be, as well as some more NFL news from the next 24 hours since I will not be on. Thank you for watching. I'll see everyone back in this feed tomorrow.